Hi, and welcome to Just Another Monday. How are all of my Yorny aliens doing today? I hope y'all are all having an amazing day. Today's topic is going to be number 2 weighted yarn. Um, we're going to chit chat about the first 10 to 15 minutes. Then we're going to start talking about number 2 weighted yarn. So, what's everybody doing today? Last night, no, I think it was the night before, sorry. I finished Bag O' Day's Love of My Life shawl, and I'm now working on her post virus shawl. And really that pattern seems to be coming along pretty quickly for me. I'm almost finished with the first skein of yarn. Let's see, Dana's here. Hi, Dana. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? But yeah, so I'm going to be working on the post virus shawl today. And also, I know I'm late on the finished projects video. Somehow the 15th passed, and I never made the connection that the 15th had approached. And I didn't realize it until yesterday, right before I went to film. Not yesterday, sorry, Saturday, right before I went to film my Knitting Friday video. So I'm going to be working on that video today, the finished projects video, and it should be uploaded sometime later today. Let's see, we have Inherited here, Christy and Kelly. How are y'all doing today? And what are y'all working on? Oh, thank you, Christy. She says she loves the yarn wall behind me. And Dana's still finishing up on the luck of the draw. Awesome. So I have some jokes that I'm going to be telling y'all. I hope y'all get a good laugh out of these. The first one is, did you hear about the first restaurant to open on the moon? It had great food, but no atmosphere. Let's see. Kelly saying she's good working on granny squares and working, so she'll be lurking. Inherited says it's 10:30 and already almost 90 degrees. I'm hiding indoors and hugging the AC. Yeah, it's 88 here. It's gonna be getting hotter though. Christy says I'm making the Easy Breezy shawl by Kristen Dahl. I'm probably saying it wrong, the last name. Kelly liked that joke. The next joke I have for y'all is, why does Humpty Dumpty love autumn? Because he always has a great fall. And next is, what has ears but cannot hear? A cornfield. Inherited saying we may achieve 105 later. Yikes. Yeah, it is just too hot this summer. I am beyond ready for fall. Yeah, Christy saying that's hot. I will be in my bedroom all day where the AC is. Yeah, I like to sit like in front of the AC usually. Like whenever I'm working on editing my video later today, I'm probably going to be hot because this area of the house doesn't cool off good. So, but once I'm finished, I'll be running to that AC. So my next joke I have is, what kind of chicken is the funniest? A comedian hen instead of comedian hen. And the last joke I have for y'all is, why do bowling pins have such a hard life? and it's because they're always getting knocked down. So I hope y'all enjoyed those jokes. Let's see. Inherited says, I'm so glad I have HVAC. The furnace decided to die early in the spring. So since it was going to be expensive, we just added AC to the system. Yeah. And we have like in the living room we have one of those big window units, and it's supposed to be like, one of the really good ones, but it still gets hot sometimes. And I'm just ready for summer to be over with. I don't like the heat. Yeah, inherited. That's one of the jokes that I saw on the list. The right eye said to the left eye, "Between you and I, something smells." Um, and they're referring to because you got your nose between your eyes. Yeah, that one's a good one. Inherited says, "I keep all the curtains, blinds, etc. closed." Yeah, same here. It's like I do not like the heat. I don't. But then whenever winter hits, then it'll be cold and I'll be complaining about the cold. Hi, Daphne. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? So, anybody have plans for today? Like I said, I plan to film my finished projects video today, work on that. Then I plan to work on Bago Day's post virus shawl. And I love how that shawl's coming out. It's a beautiful pattern. Um, Now after I finish that one, I got to figure out what I want to do next. Let's see. Oh, Brenda's here and Anita. How are y'all doing? And what are y'all working on? Inherited says she made pasta salad before it got so hot outside, so I don't have to cook when it's hot out. Yeah, that's one thing. It's like when it's hot, don't run that oven. And let's see. Daphne says she's doing good. She just finished a square by Jada in stitches. Awesome. And Christy saying the control panel went out on her HVAC unit. I had it fixed 3 years in a row. They wanted $250 2 years ago to fix it. So I have no central heat in the winter either. Yeah. Now our air conditioner, the window unit, it also has a heater, but I don't know. I don't find it warms me up. So typically we always use our gas heater, but I don't know. Do y'all, those of y'all that have a window unit with the heater, do y'all find it warms y'all up? Let's see. Inherited said we had to have our electric panel replaced too. It was totally non-standard. Oh, the setup for our electrical stuff, it's crazy in this house. Like when people look at it, they're just like why is it set up this way? Um but yeah, and then like our electrical outlets, there's not very many in the house. And like there's one that's like up high, like in the cabinets. I don't know why they have one there. Um let's see, Anita says she's fixing to put a roast in the oven. I need to work on Max later. Oh, so you're testing Max too? Yeah, that is such a cute pattern. Crystal did an amazing job designing Max Amortion. Um, I can't wait till she releases it. Um, but y'all know me, I love my aliens. Let's see. Inherited says, yeah, there was a lot of why. Why do they do it like this? And then like another thing too, like our the light switch. was in the panel for the door. And when we replaced the side door, um, they had to like move the outlet over, which I don't know why they put it like in the door frame initially. Hi, Julia. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? And let's see. Christy says, I'm just using a space heater in my bedroom and a window AC. I'm sure my bill is lower without central heat and AC. You know, that is one thing I did like. I used to rent this trailer. This was pre the biscuit. And initially it was central. And like my electric bill was, on the high side. And then when the central unit ended up going out, my landlord replaced it with window units. And I thought like it would be higher, but it was lower with the window units, a lot lower. Let's see, we have Jennifer that joined us. Hi, Jennifer. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? Yeah, in about 3.5 minutes, we're going to start getting into the topic of number 2 weighted yarn. Let's see. Julia says we have 220 air window unit heat with wood stove. And Christy says, I want to make a virus shawl next. I will have to check out Crystal's pattern. Yeah, and Crystal, you have sections that are virus stitch, and then some have the post, like the front post double crochet, back post double crochet. But I love how it's coming out. Anita says, yep, he's adorable and will be great for beginners also. She did a great job. I like I said, I love that pattern. And it was like, whenever she showed it to me, I was like, oh my, that is just too cute. And I had told her she designed an alien pattern that I would have to test. Let's see. Julia's working on a beaded wrap necklace. Our light bill is cheaper. But yeah, and now it's like lately the electricity is going up though. Bill's a lot higher than usual. But yeah, but I hope everyone's staying cool though. And if y'all do get too hot, get y'all one of those bags of ice and just like put that on you. Christy says, I have some big twist shimmer in white on the way. It might work very well for that shawl. Ooh, that would be pretty. Make it sparkly. Yeah, eventually I need to get some of the big twist shimmer yarn because I love the sparkly yarns. And I keep saying I'm going to invest in, like the solid color sparkly yarn. And I still haven't done it. But I just think the sparkly yarns are beautiful. And, like the cake sparkly yarns. Ooh, yeah. All right, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to show y'all a little video of everyone that submitted pictures for today's live. Now, this week I didn't get as many pictures, so it's going to be a shorter video. But let's pull that video up. and everyone do an amazing job with their makes. Such beautiful work and just so much talent. But yeah, I always love seeing y'all work. Now I am curious, have y'all ever used number two weighted yarn? Um, I've only used it once. I really don't get the impression that number two weighted yarn is real popular. The only number two weighted yarn I've ever gotten is this right here, the Nako Mohair Special, and the color for this is Romantic, and this is what it looks like, how thin it is. It's a little thicker than number one weighted yarn. And the only thing I've made with number two weighted yarn is the Haroni shawl. And let me pull it up for y'all. And I'm also going to show a picture of it when I was trying to block it. I'm going to have to reblock this shawl doing the steam method. It didn't block the best. But let me pull that picture up for y'all. Give me just a second. But this shows it more where you can see the details of the pattern better. And I love this shawl, the pattern for it. And really, it was suggested to use number one weighted yarn, but I did number two. But that's the only thing that I've made with the number two weighted yarn. And let's see. Thank y'all, those that are saying that the shawl is beautiful. Christy says it's difficult for me to work with anymore, but back in the day, I used to make dollies like nobody's business. Let's see. Jennifer says I'm knitting a beanie for the August calendar challenge. I'll send you some pics for next month, Connie, for all my July makes. Awesome. Yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna be releasing July's finished projects video later today, and then August 15th will be the next finished projects video. Also, next week we'll be discussing number three weighted yarn. So if y'all have any projects you've made with number three weighted yarn, take pictures, send y'all pictures in, and I'll show them on next Monday's live. But yeah, let me know though if y'all have worked with number two weighted yarn, and what have y'all made with it. Let's see, we have Patty and Chris that joined us. How are y'all doing today, and what are y'all working on? Okay, so number two weighted yarn is a fine yarn. It's also called sport or baby. Those are other names for it. But I find you tend to hear it called sport yarn more than baby. And for crocheting, the recommended hook size is 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter. And then for knitting, the needle size recommended is 3.25 to 3.75 millimeter. And sometimes you'll see like different sources will have it a little different, this information. But for the crochet gauge, if you're doing single crochets to 4 inches, you should be getting 16 to 20 stitches. And for the knit gauge and stockinette stitch for 4 inches, you should be getting 23 to 26 stitches. And number two weighted yarn, it is slightly heavier than superfine weight yarns. It's typically used for projects such as sweaters, hats, socks, wraps, lightweighted afghans, and other lightweight clothing items. That's typically the type of projects you see it used on the most. Let's see. Chris is saying sport is nice for shawls, hats, even socks. And like I said, if y'all have used number two weighted yarn, let me know. And even those that are watching on replay, let me know in the comments section. Let's see. Do y'all have any questions to do with number two weighted yarn? And if y'all do, let me know that too. Let's see. Chris is saying, I'm doing well. I'm staying inside because it is going to be close to 100 today. And I am still working on the design of my um, cow snood. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, we were talking about how hot it was earlier in the live. But yeah, if y'all have questions to do with number two weighted yarn, let me know. And do y'all have any tips or helpful information when it comes to number two weighted yarn? Let me know that too. So now I'm going to start getting into some patterns using number two weighted yarn. These are patterns, most of them I found on Ravelry, if not all of them. I think all of them were from Ravelry. And I'm going to be sharing crochet and knit patterns. And some of the patterns will be free, and some of them are paid for patterns. And all the patterns that I'm showing y'all today, the links for them are in the description box of today's live. Let's see. Jennifer says the smallest needle I now use is 2.25 millimeter for socks. I haven't used 2.8 since 2019 when I made a shawl. Yeah, like I was saying, the only yarn in the 2.8 is what I showed you. I don't think I have any other 2.8 yarn. Inheritance asking, did you ever knit socks with sport weight? No. Both the pairs of socks that I've knitted, I use number one weighted yarn. Okay, so let me pull up those patterns. And we're going to start with free knit shawl patterns. Okay, and the first one is called Norwood Shawl by Laura Miller. And I love this shawl. I love the color of it. But I like how it has a little bit of lace work on the at the bottom. And here it is in like a darker gray. And here it is in like a reddish color. And here's a lighter gray. Oops, sorry. So that's the first pattern. Oh, hey, Sid, how are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? And Inheritance says, I usually use 2.25 millimeter for socks too, although I have an ancient sock head whip. Okay, let's get to the next pattern. Oops. This one is called Flame Tree Shawl by Padma Orr. And I think this one's beautiful. I love all the lace work. And if y'all haven't been able to tell, I love the look of lace work in knitting. Ooh, and they use beads on this. Ooh, that's another thing I need to do eventually is use beads when knitting or crocheting. Let's see. This one looks a little lighter, but it may still be the same pattern. But isn't that just beautiful? And hopefully these patterns give y'all ideas of things y'all can make with number two weighted yarn. Okay, this one is a Lacy Picnic Shawl by Mary Lils Heary or something like that. I always have trouble pronouncing these names. But look at the pretty lace work on this one. And then here it is in a blue. Gorgeous pattern. And let's see. We have Miss C's Cottage here. how are you doing today? And Laura Lee, how are you? And what are y'all working on? And I'm trying to remember Miss C's cottage first name. Could you let me know? Let's see. Where was I? Miss C says I am making the Wild and Free top by Jen Ivy with number 2 Cascade baby yarn. Ooh, nice. And Chris says I like to use a crochet hook or knitting needles that are a little bit more pointy when working sport or smaller weight yarn. My stitches are sometimes tight, so a sharper tip helps. Yeah, that's one thing, sometimes getting that perfect tension. But somehow, like, it's kind of funny. I've never really had tension issues with knitting or crochet. Let's see. See, Sid says I still have to work on my kitchen curtains, but resting my arm for at least a few days. Oh, I hope it feels better soon. Jennifer says I'm doing lace work in my socks. And Christy wants to try beading her shawls. Yep. Laura Lee says, love lace work too, but I don't think I'll ever get there. A lot of times I find you just have to dive in and use lifelines. Let's see, Lori's here. Hi Lori, how are you today? And what are you working on? Okay. So now I'm gonna get into the paid for shawl patterns. And let me get those up. Give me just a second. Okay. Okay, the first one is the Liz Moore Long Wingspan Shawl by Linda Laman, or however you say it. And look at how beautiful. I love the lace work on this. And y'all notice I tend to share lace work patterns a lot, cable patterns. But I think this is just gorgeous. And I love the color for this one too. Okay, let's get to the next one. This one is called Shawl Sagebrush by Nellie Vial. And I love the look of this one too. I think this is gorgeous. And I like that color too. And let's get to the next pattern. This one is called Wintry Shawl by Venera Sharapova. And I love this one too. I think it's gorgeous. And here it is in a it looks like it's the same yarn on part of it, but then it has some darker yarn. But just gorgeous. Okay, let's see. Oh, hi Dee. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? Inheritance says she can knit some lace, like easy lace. Yeah, and that's one of the, that kind of introduces you to the more fancier lace work if you do start off with the easy lace. Let's see, we also have Michelle here. How are you doing today? And what are you working on? And people are saying beautiful shawls. And Lori finished her bamboo tunic and attaching panels together. Awesome. And Laura Lee says, I had a yarn catastrophe. My yarn shelves tipped over, yarn everywhere. Oh no, that's horrible. Let's see. Miss C says that would be a beautiful in cotton linen blend and natural. Yeah, that is a good idea. And we also have Coral that, no, Carrie, sorry. We have Carrie that joined us. How are you doing today and what are you working on? And for those that don't know, we're discussing number two weighted yarn, and I'm showing patterns to give people ideas of things that they can make with number two weighted yarn. Okay, and let's see. Carrie says I'm working on a crochet shawl that'll be used as a sample for a retreat. I'm going to oh, I guess you're going in August. The shawl pattern is called Hotel of Bees. Ooh, nice. And I love seeing like y'all finish projects. And for those that don't know, I do a finished projects video on the about the 15th of every month. Sometimes I'm a couple of days late, like this month's video. But yeah, so if y'all have finished projects, submit y'all pictures. Okay, Laura Lee's asking if I got her pictures. No, I didn't get any pictures from you, Laura Lee. Okay, so now we're getting into free crochet shawl patterns. And this one is the Mulberry Wine Shawl by In the Yarn Garden. And I love like this type of stitch. I don't know what you call it, but I think it's beautiful. And then here is this shawl in different colors in a cake type yarn. Ooh, I love the pinks here. And here it is in different cake yarn. Ooh, this one I love. I love this color combination. And I love looking at, like whenever they show pictures with different types of yarn and how different it makes a shawl look or a pattern. It don't have to be a shawl pattern, patterns in general. Let's see, let's get to the next one. This one's called Rivers Walk Shawl, and it's by, oh gee, Tatsiana something. And I love like this looks different to me. I love like the color combinations and how it's done. I think that's so neat. Because normally like you see like a whole row in a color, where this one it's kind of more of a color work effect. And y'all know I love color work, especially in knitting. And so that's that pattern. Let's see. This one is the Marisol Shawl by Jennifer Santos. And this is the only picture of it, but it's a beautiful shawl. Okay, and let's see. Lori saying that was me last week, yarn everywhere after neighbor fell and he knocked my baskets off of the shelf. Oh no. Dinky Crafts. Jennifer says I love multicolor. Laura Lee says I'll try again. Send a shawl in a top picture and a 2-weight. I am just too tech handicapped. Now, if you send it while I'm live again, I can pull it up on the screen. If not, I can if it's crochet or I could put it in my next crochet video. If not, if it's knitted, then I can put it in my knitting video. Let's see. Lori loves that shawl. I'm not experienced enough at knitting yet, but I love shawls. And my advice is just keep practicing. You will get there. Okay. So now we're getting into the paid for crochet shawl patterns. Let me get those pulled up. Lots of links. Okay, this one is Sweet Tea Triangle Shawl by Michelle Ferguson. And I think this one's beautiful. I love that shade of like turquoise. I think that's beautiful. Beautiful color. I think this is a pretty shawl. And here it is in a different color. Let's see which other pictures they have. Ooh, I like that shade too. And ooh, that's pretty. That kind of looks like the colors of the, or what you call it, Color Fusion DK yarn by Premier. I think the color Springtime, I think it was. That's what I use for the Love of My Life shawl. Um, and I do have the Love of My Life shawl finished, so I'm gonna be showing that. Um, I'm gonna be showing that on tomorrow's Crochet Tuesday video. Okay, let's see. Did I get? I'm trying to remember if I had gotten your pictures, Julia. Let me check my files real quick. I'm going to the wrong thing. Let me check real quick. No, I did not get them. Now maybe I had gotten stuff. Let me check the for the finished projects video. I might have put them in that folder. Now I had gotten you a Tunisian blanket, which I had put in the finished projects video folder. Is that the pictures you're referring to? If it is, I can go ahead and show them on the live real quick. Let's see. Jennifer says she loves the teal. And Christy says, that looks like the shawl I am making. Mine is using Mandela in the colorway Troll. It's a lot prettier than its name. Yeah, I think I have the Troll yarn or made something with it. And Miss C's Cottage likes the open work in it. Okay, let's get to the other patterns. This one is called Bumpy Road to Love Shawl by Addicted to the Hook. And look at how pretty. And I love the purple. And this colorway I like too. I think that's pretty. Ooh, I like these colors. Then there's this one. Let's see. And then you have this one and this one. And this one's called Verano by Elizabeth A. Myers. And I love this one. And if I recall right, there are times that Fiber Expressions on Facebook, I know like sometimes you can get her patterns for free. And I have seen this one offered for free before, but I love that color. I think it's gorgeous. I think, yeah, all the pictures are in the same colorway. Okay, let's see. Julia says, yes, it is, but you got it. Another file. You can wait if you want. I can go ahead and show it real quick. I'm sorry, I didn't put it in the right folder. Okay. Okay. Share screen. Okay, this is a Tunisian blanket that Julia made using number 2 weighted yarn. And isn't it beautiful? And then let me pull up the other picture of it. Oops. This one shows the whole thing better. But yeah, that's the blanket that she made. Okay. Let's see. Lori says, I like the simple lace shawls, and that would be cute. One of the patterns she said would be cute for a wedding. And then Harriet says, yes, I think she also has an email newsletter thing. Yeah, a lot of times, like her patterns, you'll see it where you can get them free. Um, Expression Fibers. And Lori says tutorials on all her stuff too. Yeah, and actually, Expression Fibers is how I learned how to knit. I did her tutorials. Okay, and Carrie says, what was that last one again? Um, let's see. Oh, hold up a minute. Let me get back to the last one I showed. And hopefully this is the one you're referring to. Give me just a second to pull it up. I wish it was faster to pull up the patterns. Is this the one you were referring to? Let me know if that was the one or not. And let's see. Chris says, I have a lot of expression fiber arts patterns. They are beautiful. Yes, they are. Okay, I hope you have a good day, Miss C's Cottage, and enjoy your lunch. Okay, Carrie says that was the one. Okay, but yeah, if you sign up like on Facebook for Expression Fibers, you'll usually get posts that offer her patterns for free. Um, let's see. Next, we're going to get into some free sock patterns that are knit patterns. Let's see. This one is called Lavender Socks by Asma Al Harbi. And I like the cables, the little cables on it. And here's another picture of the socks. Let's see. Okay, Carrie wants to know what was the name of that shawl. Let me bring it back up. It's called Verano. I'm going to type it in the chat. That's the name of that shawl, Carrie. Okay, let's get to the next pattern. And I'm hoping this is giving y'all ideas what y'all can make with number 2 weighted yarn. This one's called Zigs and Zags Socks by Chaos. Look at how nice these are. Okay. And the next one is Diagonal Rib Socks by Ann Budd. And again, look at that beautiful kind of like, I guess it's still considered cables, but I love how that stitching looks. I like that blue. Oh, that blue's pretty too. Okay, let's see. You're welcome, Carrie. Laura Lee says, I'll have to get help. They just keep coming up as JPEG. Um, Now, if like I said, if you send them in, I can show them on like one of my next videos since it doesn't make it to this live. And Inherited says, I love Ann Budd's books. Ooh. I'm gonna have to check out more of her patterns. Okay, let's see. These are the paid for sock patterns that are knitted that I'm fixing to show y'all. Actually, Laura Lee, I should be able to. If not, I can convert it to the file type I need. Let's see. This one is called Marigolds and Fence Post Socks by Dana Ray Makes. And I love the design on this. I think it's beautiful. And next we have Afsheri by Hunter Hammerson. And look at how pretty these socks are. Let's see. Oh, I don't know why they had that picture. I thought it was different socks until I pulled the picture up. Okay. Next is Retort Socks by Stephanie Goodwin Ritter. Oh, I like that green. That's pretty. And here it is in some different colors. Let's see. And here it says, getting started knitting socks. Ooh. I'm going to have to see your socks. And Dee says, I'm knitting socks now, but haven't picked a pattern yet. There's so many beautiful sock patterns. And for those that haven't knitted socks yet, I recommend the Crazy Sock Lady. She has awesome video tutorials. Okay, so next we're getting into the free crochet sock patterns. Let's see. This one is Single Crochet Socks by E.A. Kelly. And I love that color combination. I think these are pretty. And I haven't crocheted socks yet. Eventually I'll get around to crocheting socks. But I kind of prefer, like, I really prefer the look of knitted socks though. This one is called Lily Socks by For Eli. And I always like the socks with like the like a different color toe, heel, and cuff. I think I like the look of it. Okay, let's see. Okay, Laura Lee says she sent the pictures. Let me see if I can find them. Give me just a minute. Okay. Oops. Okay. This is one of the projects that Laura Lee made using number 2 weighted yarn. And this shawl is gorgeous. Pretty, pretty. Okay, let me get to the next one. Okay. Give me just a second to get it pulled up. And this is the other one that she made. Isn't that, I think it's upside down. But it's gorgeous though. Yeah, I think I can rotate it. Okay, there it goes. There it is, right side up. Okay. Let's see. Inherited said, no, that's the name of the book. I think I have knit several pair of socks. Yeah, I love all the stuff that you can do with socks, like the cables on them, the colorways. And let's see, Laura Lee says, I am using Crazy Sock Ladies patterns with a 4-weight yarn to use as a Christmas stocking. Then I'll try the lighter weight yarn. Awesome, awesome. Lori says, that's a new knitter. When do you switch to carbon or metal needles from bamboo? Okay, now some people stick with bamboo. Um, like they've been knitting like 20 years and they still use bamboo. It's really kind of up to you. They do claim that aluminum does help improve your speed knitting, and I personally find it does. Basically, like, I would switch once you feel confident and comfortable with bamboo, where you're not getting hardly any slip stitches or drop stitches anymore. Um, because when you use aluminum, you are more prone to having drop stitches. So, and the thing is, even experienced knitters still get drop stitches sometimes. But the more experienced you are, it happens less frequently. Um, so it's kind of what, if you feel you're comfortable making that switch, and you're not getting hardly any drop stitches, then that would probably be a good time to do it. But if you're still getting drop stitches a good bit, I would wait. Laura Lee says, I still need to block the shawl. Yeah, I'm always pokey, like blocking stuff. I'm not quick with doing that. Okay, let's see. I think we're on the paid for sock patterns now for crochet. Okay, this one is called Former's Favorite Socks by Lori Adams. And I like this pattern, and I think they have like different patterns on this pattern. But here are other pictures. Ooh, I like that. There's still more picture, a couple of more pictures. And then the next one, and I love this one. I think these are gorgeous. This one's called Socks by Sarova Natalia. I love the color combination. And I love like how it kind of has like a cabled look to it. I think these are beautiful. And I think pink and gray go so good together. Okay. So next we're going to get into um, free hat patterns that are knitted. And let me know, are y'all enjoying the educational, informational lives that I've been doing? Let me know. Let's see, this one is Smock Stitch Kitty Hat by Melody Rogers. And I think this is so cute. I love this pattern. Um, and like with this one, it goes from like newborn to adult sizes. But I think that's just too cute. And the next one is Swirl Hat by Julie Packard. Now, I always love that swirl look. I think this one's beautiful. And the next one is Fresco Simply Slouchy Hat by Susan Mills Knits. And I love the slouchy hats too. I love so much stuff. And let's see. Okay, y'all seem to be liking the patterns. Okay, let's see. Next is the paid for knit hat patterns. Okay. This one is called Winter Wonder Hat by Met. I have no clue how to say the last name, but I love the cables on these, and I love how they did like the little palms there on the gray one, and I love the fox fur palms. I think those are just so gorgeous. And here we have different colors. Okay, so the next one, let's see. It's the Eyelet Cable Hat by Elena Bradley. And I love the cables on this. I love, love, love me cables. Okay. And the next one is Hat and Pastels by Lula La Lu. And this one is a lot of color work. And most of y'all know I love color work, especially in knitting. Okay, let's see. Laura Lee says, yes, I enjoy the education. Even though I've crocheted for 60 years, I learned something. Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome. Um, yeah, and one thing too, like after I get finished with all the weights of yarn and like different yarn fibers, I will be getting into other topics. So if y'all ever have a topic that y'all want me to cover, y'all can let me know. But it will be a while because the topic of yarn is going to take me a few months to get through. Um, but yeah, if y'all have topics down the road, let me know. And Inherited also enjoys the educating. Awesome. Lori says, I love hats. It's a nice change for me since I do head cover. And Christy says, I was just thinking that yesterday I have been crocheting 50 plus years and I sure don't know it all. There's always more to learn. Yes, there always always more to learn. Um, and I hope that I am teaching y'all new things. Let's see, Laura Lee says, love that color work. Yeah, love me some color work. Okay, where was I? Okay, for some reason I don't have any hold on a minute, I'm getting confused. Okay, never mind. I got confused where I was at. Okay. These are free crochet hat patterns. And I think this one's cute. It's the Idalia Sun Hat by Lindsay Core. And I love the look of this. Tie a ribbon on it. You could either like maybe crochet a flower or do some type of oh, I can't think of what you call it. But I think this is such a cute hat. Okay. This one's called Loopy Love Hat by Tamara Kelly. And I like this color combination. So pretty. Let's see, we have Barb that joined us. Hi, Barb. How are you doing today? And what are you currently working on? Okay. So now we're getting into the paid for crochet patterns. Okay, let's see. This one is called Leah Summer Hat by Crafty Lady. And I love this hat. I think this is just so beautiful. I love the colors of it. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay. And the next one is called Here Comes the Sun Hat by Morgan of the Hat and I. Now, I love this pattern, but I don't think that yellow flower goes with the white and purple hat. I think it should be a different color. But I mean, I still love the pattern. And that's only my opinion. Some of y'all may like the yellow. Oops. Let's see. Lori says that sun hat is cute. I know. I think that one was so cute. And Borb said, I just cast on a doll sweater. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to get into a few blanket patterns. The first one is a free knitted pattern. and it's called Cotton Candy Afghan by Sandy Scoville. And look how pretty the cables. Okay. And the next pattern is a paid for knit pattern. And this one's called Spring Frost by Ann Hansen. And I love the design on this one. Pretty, pretty. Okay. And now we're getting into, this one's a free crochet blanket. And I love plaid. This one's called Fireside Gingham Afghan by Donna Baranti. And like I said, I love plaid. I think that one's pretty. Okay. And the last pattern is a paid for blanket crochet pattern. And this one's called Coral Reef Gordon by Beba Blanket. And look at how pretty. And you could probably do this in like other colors and stuff too. So those are the patterns that I'm sharing for today's live. And all the patterns, the links for them are all in the description box of today's live if y'all are interested in them. And I have them separated where in groups where if it's crochet or knitted and if it's free or paid for. So it should be easy, to find stuff that way. Now, if y'all have any questions to do with number two weighted yarn, please feel free to ask. Also, if you have used number two weighted yarn, let me know in the comments. Let's see. Borb says, I wish I had a little girl. I'd be making things like crazy. And Lori says, the spring frost I love. Laura Lee says, if I ever knit an Afghan, I will keep it. Funny thing is, I don't knit or crochet that many blankets. My go-to tends to be shawls, hats. Now it's gnomes too, and some amigurumi. But yeah, so next Monday, I'm going to be talking about number three weighted yarn. So if y'all have ever made anything using number three weighted yarn, email me y'all pictures and I'll include them in a little video on next Monday's live. And let me pull up my email. It's just another stitch 2020 at gmail.com. It's also in the description box of all my videos except for my recent Monday lives because I have so many links I don't have room to put my normal information since I started doing the educational informational lives. But yeah, you can find it there and also on my about page. Let's see. Christy says Sphinx cats have no fur, so you have to keep sweaters on them. Aw, shy babies. Oh, and Christy, if you want your link dropped, if you type the word drop in the chat, Nightbot will automatically drop your channel link. And this goes for anybody that has channels. Just type the word drop to get your link dropped. So yeah, like I said, if y'all have questions or anything, or if y'all any helpful information, feel free to share it in the chat because that might help someone else that's that watches. Let's see. Okay. So now we're going to chit chat for about the next 20 minutes. I have some yarny questions that I'll be asking. And these questions don't have to do with number two yarn. These are just general crochet knitting type questions. So, who was your mentor for learning to crochet or knit? Um, for me, I really wouldn't say that I had a mentor. Um, I just started seeing like shawls and hats, and I was just like, oh, I wish I could make that. But I really didn't know any. Well, there was one person I knew at church that knitted, but it wasn't like, she didn't mentor me or anything. And then like another one of my friends, she knew how to crochet, but I never really learned from her. I learned for knitting it was expression fiber, her tutorials, and then for crochet it was oh, what's her name? I can't believe I'm forgetting her name. Um oh, Selena Baca. I had done her lessons on Craftsy. Let's see. Christy says, yes, it was. My mom taught me years and years ago. See, and I wish I would have learned earlier. Um, because like my grandma always crocheted. She always crocheted blankets. But I think for the most part, like it was just basically like more basic type blankets. I think she did do like the chevron stitch, but I don't think she ever crocheted anything else other than blankets. Um Granted, I do wish I would have learned stuff from her though. And then like my stepmom crocheted. And as a teenager I did kind of play with it, but with the fact that I'm left-handed, I couldn't do the mirror image thing, so it was hard for me to learn. Um, but the irony is now I crochet right-handed. Let's see. Forbes says definitely my grandmother mentored me when I was much younger. She crocheted all the time. I've mostly taught myself to knit. Laura Lee says my grandmother taught me all kinds of crafts: crochet, knit, hairpin, and broomstick lace. I've never heard of hairpin and broomstick lace. Sewing, quilting, gardening, etc. Ooh, awesome. But yeah, like I said, I wish I would have learned the yarn skills at a earlier age. Now, I did do cross stitching whenever I think I learned how to do that at around 12 years old, maybe a little maybe a little younger. I did that. I remember the looms, like the potholder looms. I did that. Um and I even had a Barbie doll dress like loom that I made a few dresses on. But that was more like the crafts that I did young at a younger age. Let's see. Lori says both my grandmas and my great grandma taught me to crochet as a small child and promised one of my grandmas that I would learn to knit. So I am learning. Awesome. And if you have questions like to do with knitting, feel free to ask. And I do have some knitting tutorials in my tutorial playlist. And then I have like some helpful knitting tips videos too that I have a playlist. I think it's called something like helpful tips. Um, but if you look at my playlist, you should be able to find them. Christy says, same here, Connie. I am left handed. My mom was right handed, so I learned to crochet the right way. Borb says, I'm a lefty too. I crochet and knit right handed, though. Yeah, To me, I felt like, let me try to learn right handed. And I figured that it would be easier because you have more right handed tutorials for things. You don't have to convert patterns to being left handed. And, and I've also heard that some patterns you can't convert. So I wanted more options. Laura Lee says, I did embroidery but didn't like cross stitch. Now, the thing is, whenever I was younger, I was horrible about finishing my cross stitching projects. So then whenever I picked it back up as an adult, I like made myself finish what I started before I started anything else. Christy says, you and I have ambidextrous digital dexter. Yeah, but the funny thing is, I do find a lot of left-handed people kind of are ambidextrous because you live in a right-handed world where you kind of see things done right-handed more, or you just kind of adjust. Barb says, I think the world just isn't kind to us lefties. Yeah, like I said, I know like in school, there were a couple of us, I think there was about three of us that were lefties. And there was like only like two pair of lefty scissors. So we always had to wait for the scissors. Well, I got tired of that. So one day I just picked up the right handed scissors, and it was awkward at first, but I learned how to use scissors right handed. And, before I knew it, I was comfortable with it. And the funny thing is, my stepmom had gotten a pair of left handed scissors for me, and she was trying to insist that I use them in my left hand. And it was like I couldn't do it anymore. It was uncomfortable. So I would always like stick them in my right hand, and she would fuss at me for it. She's like, "You're left-handed," and it's like, "But I'm comfortable using right-handed scissors." Okay, my next question is: Have you worked? Have you done stuff in other fiber projects like felting, weaving, spinning, or dyeing yarn? I personally have not. I would love to one day dye my own yarn though. um, but no, I haven't done like any weaving or spinning. But I do think I had gotten like a weaving loom from a yard sale. I just haven't used it yet. Let's see. Christy says the right hemisphere of our brain controls the left side of our body. So lefties are the only ones in their right mind. Yeah, and the funny thing is, like back in the olden days, it used to be like if you were left-handed, like parents would like force their kids to be right-handed. Um, but like I don't know, like some things I find I do better left-handed, other things I find I do better right-handed. Christy says, and you just can't find a left-handed hammer. What's up with that? Laura Lee says I did a little weaving, not much. Yeah, like I said, I haven't ventured out into that type of stuff. Basically, my go-to is knitting and crochet. And the funny thing is, it's like once I started like picking up on the yarn crafts, it's like I haven't touched like my cross stitching in like 3 years. Christy says that is true, Connie, and it causes dyslexia in a lot of kids and learning difficulties. Yeah, like for instance, like sports and stuff. It was always awkward. Like baseball or softball, it was like, do I do it right handed? Do I do it left handed? And you typically, you didn't see other people left handed. So you kind of didn't know how to do things. And I do find like I'm hand clumsy. Um, and the funny thing is that, so you usually were watching people do things right handed. And like I said, I was never good with that whole mirroring thing. Lori says I was forced to be right handed. And Laura Lee says she's got to go and work on the yarn catastrophe. Can't stand to look at the mess with my precious yarn. Oh. Yeah, we're only going to be about 10 more minutes. But I hope you have a good day, Laura Lee. Lori says I loom knit and waiting on my electric spinner to be available in October. And actually, that was another question I was going to ask y'all. Have y'all ever done any loom knitting? And really, that's what introduced me to the yarn crafts. I learned how to loom knit first. And I was like making hats and shawls with the looms. But the thing was, I always found the looms were restricting. And like sometimes you had to like sew panels together. And I'm not fond of sewing panels like that together. But and there weren't as many like tutorials, and you didn't have as many patterns and stuff. Um, so then that's when I ventured into knitting, and um, then it got to the point with knitting where, like, I like the cutesy type of beanies, and with knitting, most of the time they were only in child sizes. And but I would always find what I was looking for in crochet. And I was like, oh, I wish I knew how to crochet. I wish I knew how to crochet. And like I had gotten that subscription to Craftsy, and I was like, let me see if they have any crochet tutorials. Let me try give crochet another chance. Maybe I can get it now. And whenever I found Selena Bacchus, I picked up on it easily. Um, but that's how I got into the yarn crafts. And let's see. Laura Lee says she'll listen in. Lori says loom knitting is slower. But yeah. And the funny thing is, I was eventually wanting to get the big Afghan, the figure 8 loom, but I hadn't gotten one, and like I said, and then I started doing knitting, and I felt like I didn't need a loom anymore. And you have so many more options. Like if you do regular knitting, or if you crochet. But yeah, loom knitting is how I started. And I'm trying to remember, there was one tutorial, I think it was Deborah Shaw, that I liked a lot of her tutorials for loom knitting. Okay, let's see. And my next question is, have you ever taught anyone to crochet? Now, in person, I haven't, but I have had people tell me that I have taught them stuff with knitting, with my tutorials. So I guess in that aspect, I have helped teach people how to knit. Um, but as far as in person, no. But I also like to try to encourage people to learn more, and I'm always trying to encourage people to learn knitting. But yeah, but let me know if y'all taught anybody. And I do want to remind everybody, later today I will have the finished projects video up. After I finish the live, I'm gonna go film the intro and the ending to it, and then start putting everything together. I already have the pictures like on the backgrounds with the name. So I don't have as much to do to get it ready. I was actually intending to the film the the ports I needed yesterday, and I didn't get around to it. But I did put the pictures on the backgrounds and all. Um, and like I said, next week I'll be talking about number three weighted yarn. So make sure y'all get y'all pictures in for projects y'all made with number three weighted yarn. Oh, I do need to mention this to y'all. When Wednesday, the 20th is the next live for the Southern Crocheters, and this month it's going to be on Barbara's channel with Crochet Therapy. It's going to be at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, and we're going to be talking about quick and easy gift ideas. So go check that live out Wednesday. Also, the Five Yarnaholics is going to be going live this Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's going to be on Cindy with Pups and Crochet's channel this month. Okay, let's see. Borb says no one but me is interested in person here. My family and friends aren't crafty. Christy says I taught my boyfriend de jour how to crochet a granny square back in the early 70s. He learned real quick. Awesome. Lori says I taught my late husband's three daughters to crochet. Ooh, awesome. But yeah, so like I was saying, those lives will be coming this week. Um and tomorrow on Crochet Tuesday, I will be showing the finished Love of My Life shawl and the start of the post virus shawl that I started working on. But yeah, so I guess it's that time to wrap up. Oh, hold up. Brenda's saying I taught three of my grandkids to crochet. Ooh, awesome. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed today's live. I hope y'all learned something and y'all got inspired by some of the patterns that I shared, give y'all ideas, and I enjoyed chatting with everybody. And those that watch the replay, um, I want to welcome y'all. And if y'all have any questions about anything to do with number two weighted yarn, feel free to ask in the comment section. Um, and also, leave a comment. Let me know that you watched the live, and feel free to answer any of the questions we asked at the end. But yeah, I hope everyone has a fabulous yarny day. Be the light, and bye.